Good morning, welcome to the Daily News podcast. Today is June 3rd, 2026.
The top story this morning: the U.S. and Iran have exchanged fresh missile and drone strikes after ceasefire talks stalled, and that is a big signal that diplomacy is losing ground fast. The immediate concern is regional spillover, because every new round of attacks raises the risk to shipping lanes, energy infrastructure, and Gulf security more broadly. Markets are watching oil, militaries are watching force posture, and diplomats are running out of easy off-ramps.
And when the military track speeds up like that, the diplomatic track usually gets narrower, not wider. This one feels especially dangerous because the margin for miscalculation is tiny. Staying in world politics, the European Union has pushed forward a major migration deal built around faster deportations and offshore detention arrangements. Supporters say Europe needs tougher, more workable border policy. Critics say it risks undermining asylum protections and outsourcing responsibility. Either way, this is a major shift in how Europe could handle migration, and it is almost guaranteed to trigger legal fights and fierce political debate across the bloc.
Right, and it's one of those issues that never stays confined to policy circles. It hits elections, courts, border agencies, and Europe's image all at once. Moving to trade, the Trump administration says it plans new tariffs of 10% or more on imports from most trading partners after a forced labor probe. If that goes through, it could ripple across supply chains well beyond the countries directly targeted. Higher import costs would likely land on manufacturers, retailers, and consumers, and it could open another round of diplomatic retaliation at a moment when global trade already feels shaky.
That's the part to watch. Even when tariffs are framed as targeted, the bill tends to spread through the whole system. On the tech policy side, President Trump has signed an executive order to vet top AI models for national security risks. The move points to a much more hands-on federal role in advanced AI, especially around what frontier systems can do, who has access, and where strategic risk sits. It also matters globally, because once Washington starts setting hard rules for powerful models, allies and rivals alike tend to respond.
And companies have been expecting this kind of scrutiny for a while. The question now is whether it becomes a narrow security review or the foundation for much broader AI regulation. Now to business. Alphabet is under pressure on two fronts in the UK and on Wall Street. Britain's competition regulator has tightened rules around Google search, including giving publishers a way to opt out of AI training use, which goes straight at how search and AI products are evolving together. At the same time, reports that Alphabet may raise around $80 billion in equity to fund AI infrastructure rattled investors, because it shows just how expensive this race has become. The AI boom is real, but the spending is starting to look enormous even for the giants.
That story really captures the moment. More regulation, more capital, and less patience from investors if the payoff is still far down the road. In cybersecurity, Dashlane says hackers stole some customers' password vaults after brute-forcing part of its two-factor authentication defenses. That is a serious breach for any company, but especially for one whose whole brand is built on protecting credentials. The big takeaway here is uncomfortable but simple. Even security tools are now targets at the highest level, and users should expect renewed scrutiny of backup codes, account recovery, and master password strength.
Yeah, when a password manager gets hit, trust becomes the real story. People want to know not just what was stolen, but whether the security model still holds. And on consumer tech, Google has rolled out fake call detection aimed at spotting AI-generated voices and impersonation scams. That matters because voice fraud is getting cheaper, faster, and much more convincing. If this works well, it could become one of the most practical anti-deepfake tools regular people actually use, not just another flashy AI feature.
Honestly, that's the kind of AI defense people need right now. Less gimmick, more protection. Also in brief, Microsoft unveiled its new Major Rana 2 quantum chip and says it could shorten the path to useful quantum computing.
Also in brief, Travelers has launched an AI-powered claims assistant nationwide with OpenAI, pushing generative AI deeper into everyday insurance service.
And to wrap up on culture, gamers got a big reveal with the first gameplay look at Insomniac's Wolverine. The tone is brutal, the combat looks heavy, and Sony clearly wants this to be one of its signature releases. It's not just another trailer drop, it's a reminder that blockbuster gaming still knows how to dominate the entertainment conversation.
That one definitely made noise. When a major franchise lands with that kind of tone, people notice fast.
That's it for this morning's rundown.
Thanks for listening, and we'll be back tomorrow with the next big stories.
Have a great day.